Okay, welcome to Wednesday's homework, our last homework day for the week since we have our short week. So for number 5 and number 6, both of these are going to be talking about how to solve a proportion. Now on Monday's homework, I did say that we were going to review how to do the bat and ball method for solving your proportions. So that's what we'll go ahead to do right now in order to solve this proportion problem. Number 5's problem says, if 15 pies will serve 120 people, how many pies are needed for 152 people? Excuse me. So just like we did for problem number 1, what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and set up our one table. So remember, your W stands for your words, the O stands for the original ratio, and the N stands for your new ratio. So the words that we're dealing with here are pies and people. And I'm going to write my ratio as a ratio of pies to people. Now it says in our problem that 15 pies serve 120 people. So in the pies row, our original ratio is 15 pies, and for the people, we have 120 people. So we have a 15 to 120 ratio that we need in order to solve our proportion. It says how many pies are needed for 152 people. So we know the new ratio with the people is going to be 152. We don't know how many pies they're going to be. So just to review how to do bat and ball method. First thing we need to do is draw our bat and our ball. So I'm going to go ahead and switch colors here, that way we can see how it looks as we solve. So first thing we'll do here is we'll draw our bat. And keep in mind, these two numbers that you circle inside the bat need to get multiplied together. So I always like to put our multiply symbol inside of this bat to symbolize that we're multiplying. And then we draw the ball around that other number that hasn't gotten circled yet. And we know that with that number that just got circled, we need to divide whatever we get for this product by that number that we just circled. So in order to figure out how many pies we need for 152 people, we're going to have to multiply 15 times 152, and then we'll have to divide that product by 120. Now, just so I can save myself some space, actually I have some space down here. So I'm going to move this up just a little bit so we can do our first step, which is 152 times 15. So I'll set up my multiplication problem, that way we can go through it. So looking through our problem, we have 5 times 2 first, which is 10. So 0, carry the 1. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. So a 6, carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And then I like to cross out everything that I use for my first set of multiply, that way I don't get confused. I put my placeholder, and then I'm going to continue multiplying. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 5 is 5, and then 1 times 1 is 1. After adding down each of these columns, 6 plus 2 is 0, 7 plus 5 is 12, and then 1 plus 1 gives me 2. I end up with 2,280 that we have to divide by 120 in order to figure out how many pies. So right next to this, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 120. So we have 2,280, and I want to divide that by 120. 120 doesn't go into 2, 120 doesn't go into 22, but it does go into 228. 120 goes into 228 one time, because 1 times 20 is 120, and then when I subtract, I end up with 8 minus 0 is 8, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and then I'll bring down my last 0. Now I have, how many times does 120 go into 1,080? Now I'm just going to do a little bit of guessing here. because it's always nice to make sure that we are putting our correct numbers in our quotient. Let's see if we can do times 8. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 gives me 6. And then 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 gives me 9. So it's not quite 1080 yet. So what I want to do is I want to try times 9 instead. So we'll do 120 times 9. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 2 is 18. And then 9 times 9 times 1 is 9, sorry, plus 1 is 10. So there's my 1080 that I need, sorry. So we know that 120 goes into 1080 9 times. And then we would end up, since I have to do this sideways here, we would end up zeroing out, which means that my final answer is going to be x is equal to 19. And we could say that x is going to be equal to 19 pies, since we still need units in our final answer. Now, when you go to do bat and ball method for number 6, make sure that you're writing your one table and you're putting your original ratio in the appropriate spots. And then the numbers that get circled that are diagonal from each other get multiplied, and then you're dividing by whatever number is left in order to figure out what part you're missing. Good luck, and make sure you turn your homework in and you're ready for your homework check.